If you want to know how you can add end cards and end card overlays with your thumbnails in at the end of your YouTube videos, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome to Take One Tech. My name's Alec and today we're talking about how you can add those end cards to the end of your videos where you've got your little thumbnails and how you can make these quite effectively in Keynote as well. And in case you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's the things like this at the end of the video where I cut to a scene like this and say if you want to check out some of my videos, click here. But you'll notice that there's no videos turning up now, and that is because it's not actually done in Ecamm Live or in Keynote, it's all done in YouTube Studio. So the point of this video is to just give you a quick rundown of exactly how you do that and also how you can think about creating your overlay so that it works in harmony with what you could do in YouTube Studio as well. So first of all, let's go over straight away to Keynote because that is where I make all of my overlays. And this actually was originally part of a much larger video, and I did this whole section on how you make these end cards, and it was a 4.5-hour video going from start to finish, how you can build out your entire Ecamm Live setup from zero to a full production environment with all these overlays and things like that. And I'll link to that in the description up in the top corner as well. But this section that I did on these end cards, what I actually did was I was doing it in Ecamm Live in demo mode, and so it may not have been as clear as it could have been. So I thought I'd remake this one just rather than cutting to an excerpt from that larger tutorial. So let's go over to Keynote and I'll walk you through step by step how we do it. So this is my end scene. I'm not going to go through the whole process of creating this in Keynote because, as I say, there is a much better tutorial or a much larger tutorial that I've already done on exactly how you make scenes in Keynote. And I did make an excerpt from that for how to make overlays rather, not scenes, how to make these scene overlays in Keynote and also how to do animated overlays, which is what this one is. Because if I just come over here, I can perhaps just quickly show you what the animation is like. So this sort of previews like this. It builds out like that. It leaves a gap for a certain amount of time for me. That black area, by the way, is what is transparent in the actual overlay, and then it pops up with a yellow background, and then above that subscribe we'll have that little subscribe button. So that's probably a good point to talk about what we can actually add into these scenes, well into these end cards rather. Well, we can have up to 4 video elements, and also we have the option to add in a subscribe button, and the subscribe button basically just adds in the logo that you've got on your YouTube channel. So I decided on 2 video elements and 1 subscribe button because I thought 4 is a little bit overkill really. I think if you've got 4 different videos on there, it maybe just makes people indecisive as to what they want to click on. So I thought 2 was probably enough, and then it doesn't look too cluttered then. And then, yeah, as I say, that subscribe button pops on a bit later as well. And that's another point, is they don't all have to come on to the scene together. You can have them appear anything up to 20 seconds before the end of the scene, and or the end of the video rather. And so yeah, I have the video elements, these 2 boxes, appear first, and then I have the subscribe button appear slightly later, and that gives me time to do a little bit of an outro to it as well. So the apart from actually building the whole overlay, which as I say is a story for another video, which I've already made. The one thing to bear in mind is just make sure that you get these boxes the right size where you want to put your videos. You can actually resize the video elements that you'll see in when I show you in YouTube Studio. However, the aspect ratio needs to be the same, so the ratio of the width to the height. The simple way to do that is if you're going to add in a box anywhere on your scene, your overlay rather, I'm getting all my words mixed up today, is to come down here. So we've got a shape. Obviously, if we made the shape like that, it'd be too narrow and this would be too tall. So we're trying to get this correct aspect ratio so that it's the right size. Well, the simple way to do that is just to come into the format inspector here and click on that, and then click on the arrange tab, which is where the size is. Maybe not quite so intuitive, but anyway, arrange is where you adjust the size. And then you could come in here and put 1920 by 1080. And that will make it, obviously, 1920 by 1080 size, which is sort of standard size for the output that we want. But then what you do is you click on constrain proportions, because that's obviously now too big. It's taking up the whole screen. But if you click on constrain proportions, then it will lock that aspect ratio in. And so you can come here and then just drag this down and then we can put that wherever we want. Now, as I say, you can actually make these larger or smaller on the screen, so we could even make it much bigger than I had got them, and then we could put 2 like that. Or if you wanted to have 3 different elements, you could drag another one and have them like this. So you can really put them wherever you want. It just depends what works in your scene. I opted to have them on the right hand side, and my feeling about that was that the majority of people, if they're watching on a mobile, then they'll have their mobile in their hand, and the right side for most people is probably the easiest place to reach. So that's why I put my my next videos coming up on that side. But as I say, I'm not going to go into a full demonstration of exactly building out the whole scene. That's already done, but we're going to look now as to how we actually integrate this into YouTube. So let me come out of this for 1 minute, and I'll just switch over to my other screen, and I'll flick back again. And so this is now in YouTube Studio. And in here, when you have a video that you're loading, hey, by the way, let me just come back here a minute. Before I flick off this, there's something I've got to draw your attention to. This is a crime against humanity. 71 subscribers. Let's try and get that up a bit. If you're finding this useful, please don't forget to go down and hit that like and subscribe button, so that, well, it brings that number up a bit, doesn't it? But also, it means you get notified whenever I make any new videos as well. So with that said, let me get back to the demonstration, shall I? So in the content section, so this, by the way, is the YouTube Studio interface. So in the content section, this is where all your videos are. And when you upload a video, you will have a number of different things that you can do. 1 second. So here we go. We can change the title, we can change the description, and then just down here on this right side, you have the place where you can add subtitles if you want to upload your own subtitles, or you can add end screens or cards. I'll save cards for another video, but end screens, if you click on here, this is where you get to choose the elements that we're going to add into our end scene. So what you can see here is, and this hasn't quite loaded up fully yet, but what you can see here on this timeline down at the bottom is you can see I've got 3 elements added, and one of them is a video. This one that says subscribe is the subscribe button, funnily enough, and this one is another video. So here you can see the box where the subscribe button will appear right over my head at the moment, but actually, if you remember from that animation, it gets covered up, and so then this will be on that sort of yellow background. And I know how far that is in. It's about 5 seconds in, so that's where you can see that I have the subscribe button appearing 5 seconds in. And also you can see here that the time until the end of the video, so you've got the time marker along the top, and as I say, the maximum it can appear before the end is 20 seconds. But then you've got these video elements. If I click on a video element, it will highlight it in the scene. There you go, and it will show you what it's looking at. And then you can also just click and resize them. So if we had those sort of bigger boxes for our videos, we could have made them bigger. But one thing you can't do is you can't have overlapping elements. So you can see now that this one is encroaching onto the other one. We've got that little red area there to say that they're overlapped, and everything goes red. Big warning signs. So we can't actually finish until these are not non-overlapping. And also you notice there's a bit of snapping there as well, so you can see that it sort of snaps to the edges of the other one, and the center of the other one tells you when they're lined up. And if you want to add another element, you can just click on the top here, and as I say, you can have up to 4 videos or 4 video placeholders and 1 subscribe button. Now in the actual video placeholders, I beg your pardon, there's a couple of other things that you can add in there. One of them is a link to an external website. However, you do need to have a certain number of subscribers and viewers before that becomes active, and then you can also link to another channel as well. But that will appear as a sort of video in terms of the size and shape of it. So that will just link to the thumbnail for that given channel. But then with the other video elements, you've got either a video or a playlist. So if I select playlist, I'll just be able to go and choose from one of the playlists that I've got. And I tend to actually vary that by video depending on what the subject matter is. So if this is a video all about Ecamm Live, for example, then I might have a link to the Ecamm Live playlist. whereas if it was something else, I'd choose something else. Now, the videos, you can link to specific videos, but personally, I just use there's an option there to, rather than pick a video, to just let YouTube pick the most suitable video for your viewer. And I always think that that is the best option, really, because if you recommend a video that somebody's already seen, then they may be unlikely to click on it, and so it's best, I think, just to leave that to YouTube. So I tend to have video best for viewer at the top there, and then the bottom is a playlist related to whatever the subject matter is that I am talking about in the current video. So that is how we set that all up. Now, incidentally, while we're in the YouTube interface, it's probably worth mentioning something that I use, which is called Tubebuddy. And Tubebuddy is it's sort of like a plugin that sits within YouTube itself, and there's a subscription to it, and you can get your free trial of it at takeonetech.io/Tubebuddy. And I kind of think of it as almost like my little coach as I'm adding in my videos and filling out all of the information, because it helps me to check what I'm adding in and making sure that I've got all of the right things in place, and things like my descriptions are the right length, my tags are all in order, so how I've tagged it also helps me find new tags, also helps me analyze my channel and various things like that. It is, as I say, it's sort of like my little checklist as I go through in uploading my videos as well. And I can just show you actually how it looks in the interface itself, because it really is sort of, does feel like it's got some deep integration into YouTube, because it sits right up here in the menu bar next to the YouTube icon, so it's like almost like a direct plug into that. And then you've got some links in here that you can click on to give you sort of direct access to some of the features that may be a little bit more hidden within the YouTube interface in YouTube Studio. So you've got some links to your comments, analytics and things like that directly from this little drop down menu. Then you've got Keyword Explorer, where you can look for high trending keywords, or just check the strength of the keywords that you're thinking of using. And there's lots of other features in there as well. There's a whole sort of tour of it on the website, so if you follow that link that I mentioned, and I'll link in the description below as well. But the other thing that's really handy about it is whenever you add a new video, it goes through here and it tells you these best practices. So this window that's appearing down at the side is like almost like a checklist, if you like. So have I added in the chapters? No, I haven't just yet. Did I get a like on Facebook? No, I haven't for this video, because I didn't share it on Facebook yet. Are there tags in the title? So it's checking to see, like, what is there a sort of coherence between what you've got in your title, what you've got in your description, and then also what you've got in your tags down below. So it's just a good little reminder to make sure that you've done those things. Add the info cards. Those are the little ones where I say I'll link up in the top corner to something, and those are called info cards. And I often just upload my video. Sometimes I even upload it directly from within Ecamm once I finish recording, and so usually the last video or two that goes up, or the most recent rather, I haven't actually gone back in yet and just added in these details, so that's why those are unchecked. But then also you can see the things that I've completed. And so, as I say, it's just a really handy little checklist to go through. And in terms of the price of Tubebuddy after the free trial, I think it's around about, I want to say about $7 or $8 a month, something like that. However, if you have less than 1,000 subscribers, which, as we all know, I have significantly less than that at the moment, it's actually half price. So it's $4 basically. And I think for the help and advice that it gives, and the sort of coaching as I go through, it's certainly worthwhile for me. And just in terms of the thumbnail that pops up on those when you link to those things on your end cards, by the way, that is obviously the thumbnail for the video. And when you're uploading a video, you obviously get the option to drop in a thumbnail image here. The whole thing about thumbnail image design is something for another video itself, and I certainly do not claim to be an expert on that in any case. So yeah, there is a bit of a science to thumbnail designs, and as I say, I'm not an expert on it by any means. And yes, I'll cover that in another video perhaps. So that is how we create our overlay, and that is how we also add those end screens in YouTube. But there is another small element to it, or crucial element almost, which is how do we actually get all of those timings right in terms of when I do my end scenes. I cut to my end scene, much like this, and say, hope you found that useful, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and here's some more videos coming up. And then it goes to the next part. Well, the way that I have done this is I've actually done this with a piece of music in that is exactly 20 seconds long. So that little piece of music that kicks in when I change to my scene. In fact, let me just come in and do a screen share and I can actually show you exactly what I'm talking about. It might be easier than trying to explain this all. So we want to go to my end screen. Where is it gone now? I'll find it soon. There we go. More videos, I've called it. There we go. I should have called it end screen. I would have been able to find my own overlay then. So this is it. Now what I need to do now is I need to actually just get up my music panel as well. There we go. And I shall pause that. So I'm talking to you from behind this overlay, but if I just scrub back in this video, there I am. So what I'm doing now is you can see I'm actually scrubbing through this video. So this is a video overlay and you can see the little play button there. So if I play that, it just plays out this this animation. I can pause that again. So this animation is 20 seconds long, but what I've done is I've got it set so that at the end, I need to just unlock my scene now. This is where I mess everything up, by the way, when I unlock my scenes. Always make sure you've got your scenes locked. In fact, look at that. There's a couple there unlocked. Naughty, naughty. So then I can go to here. The first thing I make sure is obviously it's on autoplay because I'm doing everything by Stream Deck, activating scenes by Stream Deck. So when I come to this end scene, it auto plays this video over the top. So as soon as I click to it, I know that this is going to play. And then when it's finished, I want it to do nothing. And that basically means it's just going to reach the end of the video and it's going to stay on that last image of the video. And so it's going to basically stay. Let's have a look at it, shall we? If I scrub to the end, the last scene is like this. 1 second. It is something like this. So the yellow part comes over the other side and then with a bit of luck, it fades out. In fact, I didn't make the end scene 20 seconds. I actually just made it long enough for this thing to play in and then it stays like this. However, I did make my end music 20 seconds long. So this is called my Take One Tech outro cropped. And that is because it's a piece of music I got from Epidemic Sounds, which, by the way, if you are making any YouTube videos and you want to have some music on your tracks, then make sure on your videos rather, then don't forget to check out Epidemic. Go to takeonetech.io/epidemic for your free trial of that. And that's where you basically have a subscription and you get used to or access to a huge library of music and sound effects that you can use in your YouTube videos without worry of any copyright infringement. And yeah, it certainly made my life a lot easier. I did a video about what happened when I tried to use Adobe stock music on my channel, but I'll link to that one up in the top as well. That is another story as well. Let's come back to our end screen, shall we? And so, yes, so I've got the video plays out, and then I've also got this music. And the music is an overlay in this scene. And if you want to ever add any music to your scenes, then you can click on here, and you've got this little one down here for... I beg your pardon, it's not in the overlays, is it? My apologies. It's in sound effects. That was confusing me for a moment. I thought, where's it gone? It's in here. You click on the plus and then you can add a sound file into your sound effects palette. And then when you've got a list of sound effects, if you want to ever add one into your scene, you just simply click on the little cogwheel next to it. And then you go add to scene and it will add it into the scene. And you'll know that it's in the scene because, as you can see up here, we've got this little music file up in the top here. But that will play when the scene starts. And so the way I've got it is that music is exactly 20 seconds long. And so when I come into this scene, so I'm in here, and then I come into that scene like this, then I know that when that music stops, I've got exactly 20, or that when that music stops rather, I need to stop recording, and that's all I do. I just hit the end button on the the finish recording button when the music stops. And that is how to get the perfect end timing on your videos. Now you can actually also do this with Stream Deck as well, because what you can have it do is you can have it advance to that scene, and then you can have it play out the video. the music rather, but then in Stream Deck you can actually set timings anyway, so you can have it advance to the scene and then 20 seconds later have it automatically end the recording. The only reason I don't do that is because I am actually sort of demonstrating my process, and just like I am doing now, I wouldn't want it to actually prematurely end the video when I'm in the middle of just showing you how to do it. But that is how I would do it otherwise. Well, that's about all there is to say about end screens from my point of view. But if you've got anything else that you would like to add, or if anything that you've seen here you think could be done better, then please do let me know about those as well. I am always happy to receive new suggestions or ideas. This channel is all about learning at the end of the day, and I'm just as much here to learn as everybody else as well. So don't forget to go down and leave those in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe and notifications button as well, so that you get notified of any future videos that I do. So with that said, I'll cut to the end screen, and you'll know by now that we've got about 20 seconds left for you to click one of these other playlists or recommended videos. And until the next video, have a great day.